There's an effective tactic that psychopaths use when confronted, and that is admit nothing, deny everything, and make counter accusations. And this is something that is employed by the CIA, but it happens naturally when you confront a psychopath with something that they've done, with an accusation of some sort. And I find it fascinating that when you see anyone from the Trump administration confronted with anything that Trump has done, or confronted with anything that they don't really want to stand by, they will employ that tactic. Now, the question is, are they employing it because they're psychopaths, or because they've strategically made the decision to do it? So, admit nothing, deny everything, and make counter accusations is something that the CIA teaches their spies to do in circumstances where they're caught and confronted and they're being interrogated. And the reason for it is it's effective. If you don't admit to anything that's connected with it, and you deny everything, and then you start to make counter accusations, there is a certain portion of the population, and this might be the people in the room, might be the people who are doing the interrogating, who will just start to look at the counter accusation. That will be the first thing. They haven't necessarily dealt with a psychopath before. I'm a criminal defense lawyer, so I've had to deal with some. If you're in a different area of law, you might go your whole career without knowing that that's what you've dealt with. But when that happens, there's a certain group of people, naive, they may be naive, who will, instead of thinking about the original issue that's before them, they will head off onto to start looking at other things. So yesterday, okay, now Trump has, of course, changed his mind now, and he's now encouraging Republicans to vote for the release of the now apparently probably damaged and missing files. I mean, I can't imagine that they're all still available there. But up until yesterday, of course, it was make counter accusations, and he was talking about we're going to investigate these Democrats. We're going to investigate it was the Democrats. Yeah, of course, Trump's name is mentioned more than anybody else's in the email dump that came out last week. But if you look at Caroline Leavitt and you look at Kash Patel, you look at any time these people, the AG, temporary AG, probably unlawful AG, or Trump, anytime that they are confronted, they do the same thing. They admit nothing, they deny everything, admit nothing, and make counter accusations. Now, you will note that that is actually also something Pierre Poilievre does, and he did it last week when confronted about his management style. Is he going to change anything, seeing as he's lost 2 MPs in this very short period of time, basically just at the time that the budget was released? And what did he do? Instead of even discussing it, he just started to make counter accusations. So that's what he did. He admitted nothing. He denied everything, and then he made a counter accusation. Now the question is he a psychopath, or is this a trained strategic thing that he does, like they train the CIA to do? I don't know. I tend to think the former, but it is a bizarre thing that he does all of the time, and people think that he's just gaslighting them, and people think that the Trump administration is just gaslighting them. But look how effective it is with the media, because the media sort of plays what he puts out there, and the media sort of goes with it, and they start investigating the counter accusation, or at least they report on it. So it is a fairly effective strategy, and that's again the reason that the CIA teaches their recruits who are actually going to be out in the field in case they are ever captured, that is what they're supposed to do. And it might get you through. It might get you through if you're trying to board a plane to escape a country or something like that. That might be effective, and it is effective for many psychopaths that I've observed over the years. When they're confronted by the police, when they're confronted in any other circumstance, it is just a natural thing for them to do. Whether or not it is strategic, I mean, that they're thinking it out, I don't really know. I suspect they probably are, because a lot of them, they've lived with this through their lives, and so it's a tendency that they've got. But it's a creepy, freaky thing that is effective, and it's not just gaslighting. It is actually something that is strategically done, in some circumstances maybe, or something that is just a pattern that I've observed with people who are psychopaths, because they've automatically calculated a bunch of how they're going to make this denial, and it's something that they've done as a pattern throughout their life that has been effective for them, probably starting at childhood when they're confronted with something that they did at school. And it does often end up reducing the damage for them, because it again sends a certain portion of the population who are either naive to the method, or have never dealt with somebody in one of these circumstances, or and even people who had some experience with it, will get distracted by the counter accusations, and that will end up playing into the ultimate way that it moves along in the media, in the investigation, whatever you got.